In this tutorial we're going to export the set of finished buttons. So here's my finished buttons, I'm going to open them up. Now I've got all my buttons on one page. In fact, I've made two different sets on this page just when I was playing around. You might have yours in different files or all on one page like this. Just make sure you find each one and you can export them one at a time. So I'm going to use these three buttons at the bottom of my screen. So I'm going to start with the toys button. Now before you start, just check that your button is within the blue rectangle that shows you where the rollover is. If you remember, we've put rollovers on each button so that they change when you put your mouse over. And if that blue rectangle is cutting off part of your button, then it won't save that bit, it won't export that bit. So we'll need to adjust that first. Ask me for some help if you need to do that. Mine's fine, so I'm going to choose my toys button by selecting it, drag across it. I'm going to go to File, Export, Export as Image. Now you're going to need to show that you understand these settings after we've done the final web page for this unit. So you're going to need to explain how you've exported them. So have a quick look when you're doing this. We're exporting an image and there's different choices of image file formats here. We're going to choose Portable Network Graphic or GIF because they're the only two that allow you to have a see-through or a transparent background. There are lots of other types of file here. JPEG is one that you might be aware of. If I chose that, the background would be white and the file size would be bigger, but the image would be better quality. So there's different reasons why you use different types of graphic file. Because we want a see-through background on like this, and we want a small file size, I'm going to use Portable Network Graphic. I'm going to choose Export, and I'm going to make sure it's in the same folder as my other graphics, which mine is, and I'm going to call it Button 1. And that one's done. If we look at the folder now, you should see 3 files have appeared for Button 1. This one, button1.png, is the actual original image that you'll see on your web page when you first load it up. So when we put the button on the web page, Button 1 is the button that we'll see. Button1_h is the image that will appear when you put your mouse over the button, so it's its hover state. So if the button gets bigger or changes colour, that's the image that has that information in it. And button1.html is some web code that we could use to add the button to the web page, but we're actually going to do it a slightly easier way. So expect to see 3 files appear for each button that you export. I'm going to do the email one now. If I select it, File, Export, Export as Image, check that the settings are fine, choose Export. This is Button 2. And now I'm going to do the pay one. Select it, File, Export, Export as Image, Export, Button 3, and that's done. So all of my buttons should be in here now, and I've got 3 files there for Button 1, 3 for Button 2, and 3 for Button 3. So that looks right. So I've done it. You're ready now to add the files to the web page, and that's the next tutorial.